Okay, let's talk about something that I think we all know way too well. That constant, just overwhelming noise inside our own heads, you know? It feels like it's this modern problem, but honestly, it's as old as time. So today, we're going to break down the architecture of spiritual stillness, and not as some, abstract idea, but as a real tangible skill, something you can actually train. So, does this sound familiar to you? You're finally alone. Maybe you're driving or just sitting in a quiet room for once, and instead of peace, your mind is just louder than ever, right? It's this flood of worries, to-do lists, replaying old conversations. You get it. You're physically still, but mentally, man, you are running a marathon. Okay, now here's where we get to a really fundamental shift in how we look at this. We usually just label this feeling as stress or overwhelm, right? Like it's just something we have to put up with. But what if that's not the real problem? What if the reality is actually way simpler? It's just that our focus is untrained. And honestly, that is fantastic news. Why? Because anything that's untrained, well, it can be trained. So the big question is, how do we train it? Well, it's through this really powerful concept called holy boredom. Now, I know what you're thinking, but this isn't that frustrating, I've got nothing to do kind of boredom we all try to avoid. No, this is an intentional choice. It's a kind of stillness that actually puts your mind into a teachable state. And that's where you can finally step in and intercept those automatic negative thought patterns that have been running on a loop for, what, years? And here's how it actually works inside your brain. It's a really clear four-step process. So first, you practice stillness. That simple act lowers the activity in your amygdala, which is basically your brain's alarm system. And once that alarm is silenced, your brain can enter this calm, receptive, teachable state. And it's from there that you gain the power to stop those old default patterns right in their tracks. And this is the spiritual side of that whole neurological process. I mean, think about it. When you're no longer defaulting to those old anxieties, your mind suddenly has space to focus. Scripture actually calls this attending to the word. You stop just reacting to everything and you start intentionally beholding or really deeply focusing on the image of Christ. You're literally building a brand new default setting. You know, if you've struggled with all this mental noise for a long, long time, it is so easy to feel like something is just wrong with you. But I need you to listen to me really carefully here. You are not broken. You look around, you're on social media, and it seems like everyone else just has it all figured out, right? That you're somehow falling behind in your spiritual life or your personal life. That is a complete lie. You are not behind. So here's the most crucial point of all. Your current state is not your identity. You aren't broken and you are not behind. You are simply unrenewed. And renewal, well, renewal changes everything. It's not some fatal flaw, it's just a phase. And it's a phase that you absolutely have the power to move through. So this all brings us to a challenge. I want you to be in the 1%. Be one of the 1% of people who stops blaming their circumstances and starts taking, radical responsibility for their own mind. See, transformation isn't passive. It is an active choice, a decision you make to train your focus. It's about choosing to be in that small, dedicated group that actually does the work. And the first step, it's surprisingly simple, but it is so profound. It's an activation. Just saying the words, "I choose stillness," that is an incredibly powerful signal. It tells your brain, your body, your spirit, all of it, that you are intentionally hitting the reset button, that you are choosing a new path, and it starts right now. Ultimately, this is the transformation we're all aiming for, isn't it? Your mind can feel like a total battlefield, for sure. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to stay that way. Through intentional training, through this focus, it can actually become a garden. So if this helped you find even a little more peace today, please share it with someone who might need to hear it too. And of course, subscribe and join our community, that 1% who are really committed to renewing their minds and living a transformed life. Go ahead, choose to be that 1%.